Alright, let's go. I saw one of those on the late night movie last night. Really? Are you serious? Great, a sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it. His prints? This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, the defendant wasn't wearing gloves. Indeed. Oh, Herr Forehead. You're forgetting two other things you've just proven. One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Waki Kitaki. Two, the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim. Indeed. Never underestimate a Gavin is the lesson here. The court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please. So, okay, you admit that he assumes too much, but we're still going to let him testify. That's great. It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming, yes, that's what I said, assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are, assuming that my assumption is no better. What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. No one else. Why didn't you chase the killer? He was, as you say, a killer. Of course I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also now know that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not? Does it not, Mr. Justice? Aw. Yeah, you mentioned that before. I guess they're going to have their vets exam on Wednesday. Hopefully they can do something. The scene. Which way did the killer run? By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran the opposite direction. That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kitaki mansion. Actung! Don't even think about pointing it out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight. How did he know that's where I was going? Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. You were certainly composed for someone who just witnessed a killing. If one was to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood. nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one's flask upon the lab room floor. Oh, cool answer. Very cool. So nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy looks like she has something to say. Well then out with it, woman! Go, I used my cell phone to call the police. Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance? It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism. A proof in 3 parts. Exquisite. Simply exquisite. He actually looks like he's going to cry. What is it, Trucy? Why have you clammed up all of a sudden? Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. This is probably going to be the clincher. Can you tell us in detail about those 10 minutes? I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction. Is that all? No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing. It was late at night. It's not odd to think there would be few people around in the park. So we just stood there watching. Not much to go on here. Trucy, if you got something to say, by all means, say it! I can't find a single problem with that testimony. Had enough at last, Herr Forehead? Maybe it's time to back off a bit. Now, is this the point where it probably isn't going to matter what I say? There's nothing fishy about that testimony at all. It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony. There are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion. No! It seems we've come to the end of the line here. No, that can't be all. How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, Herr Forehead? I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. The court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Waki Kitaki. Oh. Oh, what the shit? What? Trucy, what the hell? Nobody move. What's the meaning of this? Who are you? There will be no verdict in this court. Not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kitakis? The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters? If you don't want to see me give the pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. Oh, are you the Joker? Want to know how I got these scars? Adjourn the court for 20 minutes. What? This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of... Head judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman. Aw. I'm sorry. Recess, 20 minutes, or I promise you, you will regret it. Wait! How'd he disappear so fast? Well, shit. Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo. Suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man. Well, crud. I guess we were pretty close to the recess point anyways. Trucy? Trucy? You move quick, Apollo. Good show. Good show. Trucy, you're okay. I thought... Aw. Don't cry, Apollo. Those good-for-nothing gangsters. There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Wait, just calm down, Apollo. Or else... Huh? Oh, that was you? What the heck is that? Surprised? This is one of my best tricks. The amazing Mr. Hat. Oh, you clever girl. You look marvelous, darling. He's a big hit on stage at the Wonder Bar. Yes, I am a big hit. Well, what do you think? Do you like it? You mean you... Trucy, there are some things you just don't do. I'm I'm pressing charges. Apollo, now's not the time to be threatening me. It's you who's being threatened here. And again, I'm gonna give Trucy props for that little trick. Yeah, like I said, hopefully it's not ear mites. Remember what you said to Waki's father yesterday? You promised you'd save his son. But that testimony was rock solid. What are you suggesting I do? Look, once the judge declares a verdict, it's all over. If I can use my talent to stop that from happening, I will. And Trucy, no more staged abductions, please. I'm not talking about magic, Apollo. I know when the witness isn't confident. I can perceive what he's feeling. It might not mean anything, but it's all we've got. You can see what he's feeling. Like when we saw Olga's little... that little tell that she did before. Think back, Apollo. Think back to the times when there was a contradiction in his testimony. All the times. All the times there was a contradiction. Ooh. Can I get a refresher? I don't remember them exactly. Good thing I do. There were 2 times when he made statements he wasn't confident in. And each time there was a contradiction. In his hand he held... Yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. Is he... He said the man tossed aside a pistol. But it turned out he wasn't sure, and sure enough there was a contradiction. Well, that's true, but how does that help us? Didn't you notice anything? Whenever he made a statement he wasn't confident in, he displayed a certain habit. That's a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Did you see it? The very moment he said the word pistol, his fingers got all tense and he fiddled with the corner of a page in his book. Oh, that is super subtle. How am I supposed to see that? Well, I could see it. How else do you think Daddy went 7 years without losing a game of poker? Ah, yeah, he mentioned that too. How he's able to notice those tells. What? Aw. Yeah, I do remember Hickory Farms with their stand there. Huh. I always sat next to Daddy during big matches. I could see what his opponents were feeling. You mean that's how Mr. Wright won all those games? It's not cheating officially. I wasn't looking at their hands or anything. And I wasn't there all the time either. Daddy's quite good at poker after all, but not good enough to go undefeated that long. Great, so he cheated, but what's that do for us? I don't believe this. You have to listen to his testimony one more time. No, scratch that. You have to watch his testimony. Perceive the truth. Watch a testimony. Perceive the truth. The only thing I'm perceiving is that I'm gonna lose. Not true. Daddy said so. He said you have the power, Apollo. Mr. Wright said that? Watch the testimony. Perceive his true feelings. Is she serious? Time's up. Sorry, I can't think of any other way out of this one, Apollo. I'm not sure if I've had their vegetable dip before. It sounds good though. What was that she said before the trial started? Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Yeah, he smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Is this what he meant by us being fine? Ah. Alright. You're our ace in the hole, huh, Trucy? Methods aside, she did avoid one guilty verdict already today. Time to show this court what I'm made of. Get ready for justice. Let's do it. Apollo. I'm starting to think I can do this. I knew you could do it all along. Oh, one more thing. Try to cover for Mr. Hat as best you can. Mr. Hat. I just flew in from the coast, and boy are my arms tired. Right. Huh. Alright, Frollo. You ready for this? Court is back in session. Right, we're fine. I'd like to say to the young lady standing next to you, Mr. Justice. Oh, you mean me? Don't you have anything to report? Anything concerning the mysterious phantom in the silk top hat? Oh, right, him. Don't worry about him. I settled that. I kicked his ass. You settled that? Yes, it was an out-of-court settlement. Right. Perhaps Fräulein would have us believe it was nothing more than a passing dream. A fantastic illusion. Now you see it, now you don't. Am I right? I think he's on to me. Probably. I wish he would stop being so cool. Let us dispense with these niceties and get straight to the matter. What are your plans for our gifted witness? Right. The defense would like to request another cross-examination. Because I forgot to ask something. There was no issue with the witness's previous testimony. I will grant your request, however, but this court will not permit stalling for time. Understood, Your Honor. Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. We're gonna have to pay attention to that, then. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Okay. I'm not sure I'm qualified to watch testimonies, after all. Focus, Apollo. Find his weak spot. Focus. If only it were that easy. My ears hear what he says. My eyes see his expression. Do I have to do something more? What other senses do I have? What's this? My bracelet. What's going on? My bracelet feels different somehow. I think Daddy was right. You can see it, can't you, Apollo? You're almost there. Find the weak spot in his testimony. I know this sounds crazy, but my bracelet is trying to tell me something. In the scene. Use myself. So you called immediately after witnessing the murder. The police undoubtedly have a record of the call. Why not check with them? Wait, Apollo. This has to be it. Wait, you mean his habit? Yeah, we just heard this. The only time he even had the book open was here. Which means this is the place to look for his habit. I don't know how I know, but I know. Know what? It's my bracelet. It's different somehow. I can feel it reacting to something about the witness. Your bracelet? I'm not sure I get this focus stuff you were talking about, Trucy. But I have a feeling that trusting my bracelet's the way to go. Okay. What's going on? I can see the witness's face, his expression so clearly, it's filling my mind. I can see nothing else, hear nothing else. Apollo? Trucy, what's happening to me? This is what I meant by focusing. Focusing. In this state, Oh yeah, I've had those before. Those are good too. In this state, you can see everything, Apollo. Everything the witness does. That's great, but this is kind of freaking me out. Just look for Mr. Stickler's twitch. His habit. You remember it, right? Sure, when he says something he's not sure if, he fiddles with a page in his book. You got it. Right now, you're looking at the witness's face. And your eyes are sort of bugging out. I'll bet they are. First, move your focus of attention down to Mr. Stickler's hand. His hand. You know what to look for now, but you have to be looking at the right place. She's right, I can only see his face like this. Time to try changing my viewpoint. Perfect, now you're really ready. Ready for what? Ready to perceive the truth behind the twitch. Perceive. Try listening to the witness talk as you focus. Then, watch for his habit. Right, you mean when he fiddles with the page. That's right, that's your signal to look closer, to perceive. Find his weak spot and I guarantee we'll be able to give him the royal flush. Spoken like a true pokerhead's daughter. I'm a magician, thank you very much. So I have to pay attention to his words and his fingers. Makes sense, though, that a stage magician would also be keen on these sort of tactics. That sort of, like, sleight of hand sort of things. Don't worry if you miss it. You can always try again. Right. Look out, nervous twitch. Here comes justice. Ergo, I used my cell phone. Okay. He was... So he didn't call on his cell phone? I saw that just now. I could see it. Mr. Justice, do you have something to say? All this banging of desks, it's quite bad for my circulation, you know. Mr. Stickler, allow me to ask you a simple question. Why did you fiddle with the page of your book just now? The very moment you mentioned your cell phone. What are you talking about? I'm curious to know about this cell phone of yours. Mind if I ask a few questions? What to ask? Ask for his number. Ooh, wait. Is this his phone? Mr. Stickler, please show me your cell phone. Why? Whatever for? Show me and you'll find out. Well, I can't. I don't have it, you see. Okay, he lost his cell phone. You don't have it? Mr. Stickler, is this your cell phone? There we go. Where did you get that? That's the phone from yesterday. Look, a cell phone. Someone dropped it beneath this tire. If the car moved, it would be crushed for sure. So is he the one driving that car? I wonder if it belongs to the doctor here. How strange, Mr. Stickler. Can you explain why your cell phone is sitting here in my hand at this very moment? Wait a minute, what's the meaning of this? This cell phone was found yesterday in the Maractus Clinic garage. The Maractus? Why, that's where the victim lived. That's impossible. Is it now? Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court, didn't you? If your cell phone is here, how could you have called the police? It's true. I didn't have my cell phone that night. That's why it can be said that I called the police from a public payphone. A payphone? So you didn't call on your cell phone after all. Just where was this payphone located, Mr. Stickler? Well, to indicate it with a startlingly high degree of accuracy, it was right around here. Oh, that's a pretty good ways away. Right across from Wright's office. Yeah, exactly. That's quite a ways from the park. But why did you lie? There can be only one reason. He didn't want the court to know he lost his cell phone. Because it was found in the victim's garage. What are you saying? Mr. Stickler, you broke into the Maractus Clinic garage on the night of the murder. This cell phone tells all. But that's ridiculous. That makes it sound like I snuck into this fellow's garage to commit some crime. As though I were trying to kill him. Was he? Well, Dr. Maractus was killed that night. Well, yes, but no. This line of reasoning has to be against the rules. Yes, it's true. I lost my cell phone. But you can't prove I lost it that night. Well, Mr. Justice, if that cell phone was dropped the night of the murder, it does raise considerable suspicions as to a connection with the crime. Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Stickler to the crime. Oh, he's already connected enough. I just have to prove it. Well, do I have a piece of evidence that can do the job? Can I prove the cell phone was dropped the night of the murder? A watch strap. Kind of odd, though. What does the time on it read? 9:30. I'm wondering if that's the evidence we have to present. Oh, does your head hurt again? Of course I have evidence. Oh, I like your swagger, head forehead. Hit it. The court will see this evidence, Mr. Justice. Hit it, as they say. Well, prosecutor? No comment here, Judge. Oh, damn it. Remember where we found that cell phone? It had fallen... If it had fallen on the ground before that night... That's right, the cell phone would have been crushed. That's what I was thinking of, too, but where was the... Do we have to present the mirror? Is... That's a side view mirror? As it so happens, Dr. Maractus's car was in an accident that took place the night of the murder. Yes, that's it. An accident? An accident. It happened a little after 9 p.m., just outside People Park, our murder scene. Dr. Maractus's car hit a pedestrian. What are you trying to say? From the absence of a mirror, it's clear that the car was parked after the accident. Which means it was parked there after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. If your cell phone had been dropped there before the car was parked in that garage, then it would have been crushed. After all, it was lying on the ground right under the wheel. Ergo, Mr. Stickler. The only time you could have dropped this in that garage was after 9 p.m. the night of the murder in the park. We got him. Mr. Stickler, you know what this means? You did break into the victim's garage that night. This is most unexpected. Mr. Justice, are you naming the witness as a suspect in the murder of Pal Maractus? No, stop. This is too much. This can't be happening. Prosecutor, say something! I suppose it is worth saying this. No connection has been found between Wesley Stickler and Pal Maractus. That is, other than this. I believe our next testimony will be most revelatory. Okay, that sounds like a good spot to cut off for a moment. I will see you in a few minutes.